Bienvenue à Paris, and to this special edition of the daily podcast episodes bringing you the inside stories from the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Allez, allez, allez! Here's your host, John Gregory.
A warm welcome to this fourth episode of this special daily series. Thanks for joining me. We will be bringing you a short daily episode as we guide you on what to expect the next day at the Olympic canoe slalom and kayak cross in Paris and recap on the results of the last day's racing. I'm again joined by Olympic paddlers, teams and race commentators from around the world. Today we have results of the K1 Women's Semifinal and Final, plus a preview of the C1M Semifinal. I'm joined by Jacqui Lauchman, and Danielle Woodward, both from Australia, Fiona Pennie-Douglas from Great Britain, British Performance Director Mark Ratcliffe, and Olympian Cameron Smedley from Canada. So no spoilers, you already know our 10th appearance of canoe slalom at the Olympic Games, with gold canoe slalom taken by Jessica Fox from Australia, who has reached the next rung on the higher echelons of an ultra-elite group of slalom kayakers. Only Tony Estanguet, Pavel and Peter Hochschorner and Mikael Martikan have more gold or silver Olympic medals, and she still has 2 more events in Paris. I loved watching Julien Bilot's video on social media following Jess's mum and coach Miriam down the course and the reaction of the family and team at the finish. First today, let's hear from Australian Olympic silver medalist Jacqui Lauchman.
Wow, what a fantastic performance. That was an incredible run. Jess has been working towards this moment for so long. She's an absolutely dominant paddler and it's so well deserved. She was super composed throughout her run, nailed the key moves that so many competitors had trouble with. My family was up in the middle of the night to watch. The kids are bleary-eyed this morning and angling to skip school and watch replays all day. What a wonderful moment for slalom and for Australia.
That was Jacqui Lauchman. She represented Australia at the Olympics in Beijing. She talked to us from Byron Bay, Australia. Next, I wanted to share Danielle Woodward's sentiments. She took Australia's first canoe slalom women's kayak silver medal in Barcelona.
The reason I came to the Olympic Games in Paris in 2024 was specifically to watch Jess Fox achieve the ultimate dream of winning gold, particularly in kayak women. And I've been able to today witness that come true for Jess. And I have to say, it's been the most nerve-wracking experience of my life in sitting on the stands, knowing what she goes through in preparation, what it's like to paddle in the Olympics, what it's like to paddle in an event of such magnitude, and particularly in a home or a semi-home crowd for Jess, because obviously she's Australian, but she's French-born, and so she's adored here in France. And it was so obvious in the lead up to the finals today in their love for her, in the noise that was produced for her semi-final and final runs. Jess had such a wonderful lead up into the semis when she managed to do an incredible run in the heats and put her into the fastest position, and then waiting overnight and then into the semi-finals to then have to attack the slightly modified course and then get into the top 12 and then win today's event. I've just been so nervous watching what she does and how she does it. I literally couldn't watch it, and when she was coming down the course and she wasn't in her traditional position of first or second, she was racing 4th or 5th off the line, so she had to wait for the next 6 paddlers to come down. And I know what that's like to sit there and have to wait to see whether your colleagues and your friends, particularly in slalom canoeing, can do their best, and will that better you, or will you be the best for the day? I was standing with Anna Mears, the chef de mission for the Australian team, Ian Chesterman, our president for the Australian Olympic Committee, Thomas, the president of the International Canoe Federation, and we're all literally on the edge of our seats. And I actually had to turn away watching each of the girls come down after Jess, because my heart was in my mouth just in, can she finally get this elusive gold medal? And I have to say, I'm still in shock. My emotions haven't even really hit me yet as to the magnitude of what this superstar of a human being has been able to achieve. She's not only been to Olympics for 2012, 2016, 2020, where she's medalled at every single games, and as equality for women has increased and we have gender equality now, she can now potentially compete and win medals in 3 different events at the same Olympic Games. To watch that progression and then to watch her as an athlete, as an ambassador, as a person and as a woman has just been the most marvellous journey for me, particularly in looking at Australia when I first competed and won the first medal for us in slalom, been a silver medal, and then we had the history of silver for so long, and watching Jess do silver and then bronze, it's just been a journey that I can't explain, and it will take me weeks, I think, to digest this. And for Jess, she's still got 2 more events, and so once that's done, I think that for her to be able to digest the enormity of what she's been able to do, canoeing at the international level, for sport in general at the international level, and for the Olympic movement at the international level, and for women. It's just not even something I can comprehend yet, but I just think that we have a marvellous future with the calibre of people like Jess, and of course of our other medalists from Poland and from Great Britain, and all of the women who compete, and the men who will be competing shortly. I just think that our sport showcases sportsmanship, humility, graciousness and camaraderie, and Jess is at the forefront of that.
That was Danielle Woodward. She represented Australia at the Olympics in Barcelona, Atlanta and Sydney. She talked to us from Paris, France. I chatted with the amazing Kimberly Woods from Great Britain in a podcast episode on mental health earlier this year. So delighted to see her take bronze in Paris. After chatting with Fiona Pennie-Douglas from Great Britain yesterday, I went back to ask her reaction to Kim's bronze.
Brilliant result there for Kim. What a journey she's had since that disappointing result in Tokyo. So I know she's put in an awful lot of effort since then to better that in Paris. Certainly to have dealt with that pressure she must have had on her shoulders when she heard Jess's run time before her. That must have been quite a lot to deal with and process, and then make sure she kept her own game plan. Certainly when Jess came down, I thought that might be unbeatable, but knew there was time in it. Super gutted for Ricky though. I mean, just goes to show the fine margins of slalom. The pole falling the wrong side of her head, unfortunately. I know how disappointed she'll be with that. But yeah, big congrats to all 3 of the medalists, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the rest of the games bring.
That was Fiona Pennie-Douglas. She represented Great Britain in Rio. She talked to us from Cambridgeshire, England. Let's also hear from Great Britain's performance director, Mark Ratcliffe.
Super proud of Kim today. Great start for the team as well. Been a long journey for her. She's been amazing. Obviously Tokyo was a tough one for her. We all felt for her, and she's been on such a journey since then. Embrace kite cross, that's come along, and the slalom's always been ticking there or thereabouts, and we've always felt like she could get the medal, but to actually do it today, on the biggest stage, awesome crowds, with full support. Yeah, we're all super proud of her. And a good start, so she'll enjoy it, and then obviously rest up and bring on the kite cross.
That was Mark Ratcliffe. He talked to us as he left the course in Wasserman, Paris, France. An additional shout out, I first met Brazil's Ana Sattler as a 15-year-old at the London Olympics, so many of us are beyond delighted to see her with a fourth at the Olympics in K1. After the excitement of the K1 women finals, let's rewind to the results of the C1 men heats. 16 boats make the start in the semi-final, of which 12 will advance to the final. 24-year-old Nicolas Guestin from France was fastest and clear in the heats. Expect an incredible depth of experience in the C1 men final, including 5 Olympic medalists. Rio Olympic silver medalist Mati Benis from Slovakia is the current leader in the 2024 World Cup Series. London Olympic silver medalist Sidiris Tassiadis took the World Championship win on his home course in 2022. Finally today, I asked Canadian Olympian Cameron Smedley for his prediction on who to look out for.
The semifinals for the men's canoe slalom is going to be exciting for tomorrow. The venue itself has got really interesting features. This is going to be a really exciting one with a lot of veteran athletes and newcomers to the games. I'm really excited to see what sort of competition it brings. 3 people to look out for, I think, tomorrow in the semifinals will be Nicolas Guestin. He's looking quite on form right now, and he's going to be really hard to beat on his home course. Sidiris Tassiadis is, I think, going to fight really hard, and he's going for that gold medal, and I think he could easily pull it off. And then I think the third guy that I would be looking at is Adam Burgess. He's quite technically precise, and I think this course could really lean into his strengths. I also have to put in a good cheer for the Canadian as well, Alex Baldoni.
That was Cameron Smedley. He represented Canada in Rio and Tokyo. He talked to us from Ottawa, Canada. We are again on tender hooks awaiting the C1 men's semi-final. The top 12 will advance to the one-run final. Will we see Benny Savsek win back-to-back Olympic titles for Slovenia? Will French athlete Nicolas Guestin realise a dream of a nation and win a French Olympic title on his first Olympics on his home course? Also, look out for Michael Martican and Tony Estanguet among the spectators. They have 5 Olympic C1 men titles between them. Thanks to my guests today, Jacqui Lauchman, Danielle Woodward, Fiona Pennie-Douglas, Mark Ratcliffe and Cameron Smedley. Tomorrow's episode will bring results of the C1 men final and preview of the C1 women and K1 men heats. Again, if you need more, then look no further than Ettore Evaldi's brilliantly insightful and eloquent blog. I'm John Gregory. Thanks for listening. I'll be back in our next episode released tomorrow at 6 a.m. Central European Time.
That's it for now. Please subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube and leave a review too. Until the next episode, keep it fast and clean. Au revoir.